Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Guns N' Roses Central. And it's Monday morning, which means that it's time to look at this past week's Guns N' Roses news. And we got some big news coming out this week. So Guns N' Roses are going to be playing Rock in Rio this coming weekend. And, this is going to be their first show in a couple of weeks here. And a lot of people are wondering, are they going to live stream the concert? Yes, Guns N' Roses will be live streaming this actual show, so it looks like we should be getting full Pro Shot quality of every show that Guns have played in Brazil as part of Rock in Rio, which is great news. And it'll be the full first Pro Shot concert from this entire Not in This Lifetime tour that's going to get released, at least on YouTube, to the public. So I saw this confirmed on Gibbos' Facebook channel. He said it's confirmed they'll be streaming GNARS live show. The broadcast of GNARS show starts at 1500 hours, which is Saturday the 23rd / Sunday the 24th local time. So there's a link down below for the actual live streaming, and hopefully somebody, I imagine, will be recording the show. And with Foo Fighters' a new album, Concrete and Gold, coming out this week, and I'm super stoked for it. I can't wait to listen to it. Foo Fighters have been going around doing interviews, and I'm sure this is going to come up in a number of their different interviews. But Dave Grohl talked a bit about, lending his throne to Axl Rose when Axl Rose broke his foot. So Grohl said, "I couldn't walk, that's right. I can walk now, it's all better." Hawkins added, "I was completely like, we're done, because part of our show, part of the thing that makes us great live is Dave's ability to connect with a large group of people. Part of that with any great front person is being able to move around." Grohl also discussed lending his throne to Axl Rose in April 2016 when Guns N' Roses frontman broke his foot, and how Duff McKagan was the one to call him. He said, "About 3 months later, Axl Rose, the singer of Guns N' Roses, broke his foot, so the bass player of Guns N' Roses, who was a friend of mine, called and said, 'Hey, can we borrow the throne?' I said, 'Yeah, take it, go ahead, it's great. It had a cup holder so you can sit, And the Guns N' Roses production manager, Dale, or he's known as Opie, revealed in a July 2016 interview that Rose gave the throne back to Grohl after his foot healed. He said, "It's all good, the foot's doing well," he added. "We did that whole run, 6 shows with Guns, and then he probably did 7 shows with AC/DC in the chair. Now he's fully mobile, moving around. As for the chair, however, some surgery was required." Opie said, "We gave the chair back." Yes, they got their chair back, grinned Opie when asked about whether it was returned. "In parts, but they got it." Now, probably the biggest news of the week is Gilby Clarke's new interview he did, and I saw that a lot of news outlets who were just lazy didn't even bother reading this interview because a lot of the headline was Gilby Clarke working on a new solo record. So I saw a couple different websites mentioned it, but they didn't take the most important part of the interview and actually elaborate on it. So let's talk about what Gilby had to say in his new interview with theseeker.ca. So he was talking about the new album he's working on. He said, "I finished the new record, but it still needs to be mixed. It's a solo record, but with that being said, there's many guest drummers and bassists. Play all the guitars and vocals. On drums I had Kenny Aronoff, Stephen Perkins, Matt Starr, and many others, while on bass Sean McNabb, Muddy Stardust, EJ Curse, and Nikki Sixx make appearances," Gilby Clarke divulged. "The writing process for Gilby Clarke is straightforward. When he composes songs, he usually comes up with a riff or a groove first." He said, "Yes, I'm a guitar player. I always come up with a riff or a groove. When I work on music, I start thinking about melodies, the lyrics, the title. Very rarely do I write lyrics first," Gilby explained. Now, Gilby also talked about the first guitar he ever had. He said, "The first guitar I was when I was 10 years old. My first pro guitar was a Gibson Les Paul. I worked at a music store for a year to save up for that guitar, and when it was stolen, I was so shattered. I wanted to do music as a career from day one. I was never in a cover band. I went straight to writing songs and playing original gigs when I was 16, Gilby reminisced. During his time with Guns N' Roses, Gilby toured the world, and his fondest memories with the band are those live concerts. My fondest memories are from the live shows with Guns N' Roses. I really felt like we were a band of brothers going to war every night to play those wonderful songs. The way we were meant to be heard through blood, sweat, and beers," Gilby remarked. During his time with Guns N' Roses, Gilby became close with Slash. Gilby, of course, played in Slash's Snake Pit, and he said, "I was so close to Slash, but we drifted apart after Slash's Snake Pit," Gilby recalled. And he also talked a bit about the reunion. He said, "I think it's great that Slash and Axl are back together. I think together they can write some great music and finish what they started in putting Guns N' Roses up there with the best bands ever," Gilby replied. And then he revealed the bombshell, which was, "I was asked to come play as a guest, but it didn't work out," Gilby added. He didn't really elaborate on why it didn't work out. "I've heard rumors that other members were offered guest spots, and the reason they didn't show up is because money wasn't that good, and to come out and travel such a long distance to only play 1 or 2 songs wasn't worth it." Now, Gilby was also asked what his favorite song off the Spaghetti Incident was, and he said, "My favorite track off the Spaghetti Incident was Down on the Farm." And Gilby revealed he didn't work in the studio with Axl Rose on that particular record, but the two finally worked together on his solo record, Pawn Shop Guitars. He said, "The only time I ever worked with Axl in the studio is when he came and sang and played on my solo record. He was a pro in the studio, he knew what to do and what not to do, and I love what he contributed to the song," Gilby disclosed. Now, these are some photos of the recording session that Axl was involved with for Gilby's record this is either from 1993 or 1994. And Gilby Clarke also talked about his time on the TV show Rockstar Supernova with Tommy Lee of Motley Crue and Jason Newsted, formerly of Metallica, and the contest winner Lucas Rossi. He said, "I had a great time doing the TV show, but for some reason it wasn't easy doing the band." He said, "I don't think Tommy Lee ever took it seriously, and Jason Newsted was too serious. I seemed to be stuck in the middle. Tommy was my friend, and I knew what we were getting with him, but I could never get Jason to understand what it was like to motivate Tommy. I was just taken aback by the backlash from the hard rock community. At the same time, there was so much shit on TV. We were trying to bring some integrity to rock music and producers on our side," Gilby said. Now, this is a recent photo that I believe was taken. I don't know if they were actually recording stuff, but Gilby was photographed with Roberta Freeman as well as Teddy Andreas. These guys played together during the Use Your Illusion tour, and maybe they're going to be guest starring on Gilby's record. Now, we've got some Steven Adler news. So he posted on Facebook earlier this week that he was thinking about putting Adler's Appetite back together and doing some gigs. He said, "It's been a while and I'm itching to play." He also posted several different logos and asked his Facebook followers for feedback on that. And then he also talked about, he just talked to his manager and he's in talks to bring his band to Australia and New Zealand later this year. And he just wanted some feedback from people as well. And then we've got some more Steven Adler news. This was something I missed on last week's news update, but Dokken was playing at the Backyard Bash at the Rainbow Bar and Grill on September 3rd, and out of nowhere, Steven Adler comes out and introduces the band, and people hadn't seen Steven Adler for a while. There was some fan photos I saw with Steven Adler too, although I don't know if anybody asked him what his status was with the reunion because nothing really came out. And we've also got other Steven Adler news. There's an old interview that just got posted on YouTube. I think it's from a couple of years ago when Adler's Appetite put out their last album, and it's a pretty long interview. You can tell it's old because he talks about if there's a Guns N' Roses reunion, so I've linked to that below if you guys want to check it out. I want to give a big thanks to my subscriber David for sending me that link to that interview. So we've also got a new photo with Axl in Vegas. This is taken from this past week, and Axl's looking really good. Everybody was commenting how they like Axl with a backwards cap, and he's looking thinner. Like when I saw him in Edmonton, I know people rag on him for the shape he's in, but he looked like he was in pretty good shape whenever we went and saw him a couple weeks ago. And then Guns N' Roses are also doing a charity for the American Cancer Society, so they have an F Cancer shirt, which you guys can buy. All the proceeds go towards cancer research, so I've linked to that down below if you guys want to go support a good cause. And then we've also got some Melissa Rees news. So there's a new movie that is called Bodied, and I guess Eminem tweeted out about it. So it's Eminem's film, and it's basically a new film that uses battle rap to contextualize race relations in America. And the film premiered back in September at the 2017 Toronto International Film Festival, or TIFF as it's called. And you wouldn't know it, but Melissa Rees and Brain both contributed to the film's soundtrack. And then we've got Melissa Rees signing some Guns N' Roses tour posters. She kind of compared it to signing yearbooks, at the end of the year. And then we've also got a post from Melissa Rees talking about getting ready for the next leg of the Not in This Lifetime tour as well. And then we've got some Bumblefoot news. So he was recently in Japan as far back as September 7th. He did a solo acoustic concert at the Twice Cafe in Osaka, Japan. And he did a number of different covers on acoustic guitar, including Iron Maiden, Kiss, and of course Guns N' Roses. So I've linked to the videos down below. So the songs he did included Maybe I'm Amazed by Paul McCartney, Ace is High by Iron Maiden, Detroit Rock City by Kiss, and Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. And if you guys haven't seen it, there's a really awesome video of him on Loudwire playing a bunch of songs on a Hello Kitty guitar and singing, and he's got a great singing voice. I especially love his cover of Rage Against the Machine song Bomb Track, which is one of my favorite Rage songs. And then we've also got some news about Duff. So him and his wife Susan took part in the Cycle for Heroes event, which is a 3-hour rock and roll inspired outdoor stationary cycling event where people fundraise, cheer, sweat, and show support for their veterans and their families. So this took place on September 9th, 2017 in New York City and September 16th in Los Angeles. And then there's also an interesting video of Duff McKagan picking lemons off their lemon tree. Why do you guys need new music when you can just see Duff picking lemons? Here's the video.
Cutting some lemons from our tree to make ahi tuna steak recipe tonight. Thanks, babe.
These are big. They look like grapefruit. You sure these aren't grapefruit?
No, they're lemons.
That's a lemon.
From our tree.
Look at the size of that thing.
Well, that does it for this week's news. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments section below. As always, you guys can hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and be sure to share it. Please subscribe to my channel if you guys love Guns N' Roses as much as I do. And you guys can also follow me on social media and support my channel on Patreon. All the links to that good stuff is down below in the description box. Take care.